Hey there, it's Egwin from Scope of Life. Wish you a wonderful day. Today, you see, very relaxed position, just sitting around here. We have a nice thing coming up, questions and answers. There are a lot of things that obviously need answering concerning the Baduan Jin. I'm going to run through some frequently asked questions on one side, and on the other side, just comment on a couple of things that I didn't have time to do so while I was in the beginner's tutorial. Now, some of the things that need mentioning are about how to actually train the Baduan Jin. We have those 8 exercises. Normally, you run through all the 8 exercises in one sweep. That is, if you have the time and if you feel comfortable doing so already. At the beginning, obviously, it's necessary to perform each exercise once, then the next, then the next, then the next, and to repeat those exercises a little more often until you get comfortable with them. The next step then is to bring all together into this big, very big, into this 8 movement set. So I would suggest that first of all you start by learning the separate exercises. Next step being, try to remember the order of the exercises. So supporting the heavens, pulling the bow, raising one arm, turning the head. Then the 5th exercise with twisting of the upper body and shaking your tail. Just a Chinese, rough Chinese translation of it. Then the 6th exercise with grabbing your toes. 7, clenching the fist with the additional aspect of sparkling with the eyes. And then the last exercise again, this coming to the toes and letting yourself sink back down again. So that's the order. Get used to it, get to know it. And one very important thing, whenever you do some training, never try to focus on too many things at one time. So if you want to repeat the order, it's fine, then do exactly that. Just stay there, run through the exercises, don't worry whether they are wrong or right, or if you, oh shit, I remember I made a mistake here. No. When your main focus is on the order, then focus on that. And not, is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong is something where you can also focus on different aspects. Do I breathe correctly? Is my stepping correct? Is my arm movement correct? At the beginning, I would suggest you take out small portions. Start up with placing your legs correctly. Next time you focus on the arm movement. Next time you focus on the shift of the center of gravity. Next time you focus on combining your arm movement with your leg movement. Next time you again focus on your legs and maybe on your breathing and combine those two. So never ever try to remember all the things that you've learned or heard in one exercise at one training sweep. It's just too much. You don't get out of your head, you will never get into relaxation. So take it easy, take it slow, one tiny step at a time, and this will actually take you forward much faster than any other training way. Alright, so much about that. The order of the exercises has its specifics, so it's quite important to do it like that, but you always have the possibility to just simply grab one exercise that suits your current needs the best and do this more often. There, once again, are 2 possible ways to do that. way number 1. Do it in such a manner that you run through all the 8 exercises, and for instance when you have a cold, you repeat the 4th exercise, which is turning the head to the left and to the right, just a little bit more often than the others. Yeah? Just simply run through, well, the whole set, maybe with 4 repetitions or 2 repetitions even. But number 4, you make 8 or 12 times or something like that. By doing it this way, you make sure that all the other organs are balanced and like slightly activated as well. Even if there is a current problem, it's always a problem of the whole system. So you need to work on the whole and not just picking one specific thing out. The other way is, if it's really something where you really want to focus on, then okay, then maybe repeat exercise number 3 for balancing the belly and balancing the stomach. Repeat these exercises as often as you need in order to get balanced again. But as soon as you feel that the main edge of the problem is off, repeat the whole set of the movements with all the 8 exercises again, in order to take the focus away from one specific area and to bring it back into the whole system, so that everything starts to interact and to connect with each other again as it's supposed to be. That will actually bring you more healing than focusing all your efforts just on one thing. So that's how those exercises are designed. They live from interaction. They live from creating a cycle, creating something where one thing leads to the other. That's very, very important in these exercises. So yes, they can be done separately, but it is quite important that after doing them separately, you're doing the whole thing again as well. Being very important, just to say one thing here, obviously, as long as you don't know all the 8 exercises, it's no problem whatsoever just to train them until you reach that point. When I say it's very important, none of those exercises is designed in a way so that when you're doing it once or twice or even for a week or even for like 3 weeks, incomplete, meaning just 3 or 4 exercises or just 1 or 2 exercises out of 8, that won't lead to a problem. It would lead to a problem if you're grabbing out one specific exercise for a prolonged period of time. For instance, you live in a city where breathing is really bad because, or the breath gets a lot of stress because the air is very bad. All right, now naturally, what you probably want to do is you want to support your lung area. So you grab out 1 or 2 of the exercises that work on the lungs, which is turning the head, that's the main focus on the lungs, and maybe pulling the bow, which is also working on the lung and the kidney area. Now, if your plan is, you see, whoa, that's the exercise that I was looking for, and you do that for like 5 months, a year, 3 years, only this exercise, without taking care of the others, that will lead to a problem. That's the main thing I wanna like transport to you. Yeah? If you're doing it in an acute state, because you're ill, because you're on the edge of getting a flu or cold or whatever, that's fine. Just do it for a couple of days, for a week, mainly focused on this one, but afterwards balancing it out again. Yeah? Also, as long as you're training, it's no problem if the set is incomplete. That's a very important thing here that will take out a lot of stress off your training for once. And on the other hand, it's important for you to know that the exercises are actually designed in a way that each exercise complements the other. And by doing so, that's one of the main things that will actually generate the positive outcome and the positive effect you want to have. All right, I wish you all the best for now. Make sure to stay tuned. That's not the last frequently asked questions and answers section. I will make sure to get back to you shortly with a lot more things to cover, from breathing, from medical issues, and so on. So stay tuned. See you soon. Have a great time. Wish you all the best.